Within that, 2.5 is freshwater. Let's take a
But that
look.
doesn't matter. You can make salt water into fresh water.
You can make freshwater into salt water also. 95.
And we do it all the time when we're
We do it
making
all the time.
soups and stuff. Yeah.
Someone asked us before if we can use salt water to water pearl. And our general answer is just use the tap water, fresh water. That's the best way to do it. And
And why is that, Tomo?
the salt, like accumulating salt or things potentially getting calcified, causing the clog.
Make a build up
Yeah,
of like physical
yeah,
mineral.
yeah. Even fresh water, it's encouraged to occasionally. So there's a like a tank or reservoir, and it's encouraged to change water periodically. You know, so yeah, the purer water is, the better it is, and more smoother, much smoother the operation will be. So that's one thing to
Smooth
note.
operation. Yeah.
Yeah. Furthermore, I wanted to do this experiment. So water part, let's see what comes up. Actually, one word because our company is one word. Oh, great, WaterPearl. There you go.
Hey, nice. There you
So
go.
this
Well,
is
it should be.
this is a good result. This is a good result. Actually, this
It's
is
a
I
great
was
result.
expecting to see.
Hey,
That's that's all you.
this is
Yeah,
an exceptional result.
I was expecting this. Like I was expecting maybe something like this, or more
What's this?
like a pearl, like a jewelry pearl.
That
But
was the original. When we first started working together on this a few years ago, and I
yeah,
first started Googling water pearl, I would get
yeah,
literally pictures of pearls.
that's right. That's right. And I mean that's great that we are. I think depending on who, like where and like what kind of Google history you have, but yeah, we just need people to ignore those things and then just find us
It
on.
takes a lot of work to undermine the authority of pearls,
Yeah, there are
you know?
more of them than us, so
They've been around for a long time too.
it's pretty long time. Yeah, yeah, but just that's something I just wanted to show to people today. Yeah, please just
See
find us
that?
water pearl or
Yeah.
two words water pearl.
And what comes up with the two words?
Oh wow, then if you do that's interesting. When you do two words, then this water jewelry, so not water, sorry, pearl jewelry comes up.
But it's funny, isn't it, Tomo? Because we had a like distinct conversation about how do we brand it? Do we like is it one word? Is it two words? How do we like distinguish between a one word versus two words?
Yeah,
And now that difference is making a huge change in the results on the Google.
that's right. Yeah, and our business name is water pearl, one word, and maybe Google recognizes that.
Mm.
Also, we use both words a lot on our website. A water pearl as a business name, one word as a business name. A water pearl, two words for the product name.
Mhm.
But perhaps Google search engine can distinguish the meaning of water pearl as one word as a business, searching for the business name
Huh.
versus when someone types in two words and not Google Business, Google search engine still struggles to find a distinction between other businesses on Pearl and
Right.
our water Pearl, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the most important thing I kind of wanted to just show, just as when they search, that they might encounter those things. So
Wonderful.
yeah, and as we kind of discussed briefly before in the previous episode, I kind of picked up water related scenes on the movies.
Oh yeah.
What is this?
Ah, yes. Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
Fundamental water scene.
fundamental water scene.
Can you
Yeah,
find the one where it's the morning after the storm and her and Lynn are sitting
oh
eating
man.
the nikuman? Yeah, it's that. Okay, sorry, it's not the morning. It's the evening. But then there's also the morning scene where she's like sees it and she's like, "Wow, it really is like an ocean." And then Lynn is like, "Well, what do you expect after all that rain?" You know.
Oh right. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's important, but
It
it's I
is.
think that the water moments in this film are some of the best. And then I mean, like, I think we talked about it last time, but there's so many water moments in this movie. Like Haku's a river spirit, the river spirit who comes in and is polluted from the human pollution in the rivers, and then all the water that the herbal water from the boiler room, and then how they clean the river spirit, and she's under the water and little bubbles are coming out. It's just like, dude, the symbolism of like the purification and all that kind of the rebirth, the baptism, and you know, it's beautiful, man.
Why is it like so for the train scene? Like, why do you think that is like that depth?
I mean, like literally the physical depth of the water.
Yeah, like what does it symbolize?
Oh,
Because it's
that's
not.
an interesting
I
question.
mean, yeah, I feel like there's a meaning to it, right? You know, it's kind of like you can kind of see, right? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know what Miyazaki-san's intention was. If he was like,
Mm.
I want to like communicate an idea through the depth of the water, or if it was just initially like there was a location he saw and he wanted to use that. Because
Mm.
there's something very like at this point here when you see it from this angle, you can't see into the water. You see the reflection. So
Yeah.
for all we know, the water could be like kilometers deep. It could be super deep water. We don't know, right? But then once you step into the water, you realize it's actually not that deep and it's easier. You can actually navigate it. Maybe it's a bit of symbolism with like, you know, we create obstacles for ourselves by seeing something in it and being intimidated by it. But if we just take a step forward, we realize it's actually not as hard as we thought to
Oh,
overcome those
yeah.
challenges, kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
that's what hits me first.
Because in the beginning, it's much more deep. It feels much more deeper and darker. But
Yeah.
now, as Chihiro is almost completing her journey, it gets shallower.
Yeah. It's like as she's realizing her changes and her perspective is shifting, we're also seeing that reflected in her surroundings.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a video about there's a guy who gives a lot of good reviews on his own interpretation, based on a lot of like his research. And this like really fat Japanese guy, and
Nice.
his take on Chihiro, Sento Chihiro no Kamikakushi Spirited Away was very, very, I would say radical and also really like I'll send you the link later. It's basically about Chihiro is basically an animator in this animation industry, who has a lot of passion or pure passion to make something. But as soon as she enters a big studio, someone like a like a just a huge commercial mindset guy or person
Mm,
takes away her name, and then just
mm,
makes her work tirelessly.
mm.
Forget her name and then just lose it. And like then his take was that this is basically like his Miyazaki's protest against Suzuki-san. And as much as they love working each other, but there's also always the fight between
Yeah,
Suzuki and Miyazaki-san about the art, and but at the same time we have to pay people and make money, and this conflict is always there. And I didn't know this, but according to him, Princess Mononoke was actually supposed to be Ashitaka's Journey, the name.
mm,
But Suzuki-san just changed it to Princess Mononoke without Miyazaki-san's blessing.
mm,
So that was apparently that was the thing back at that time. Like Miyazaki
mm,
was like, "Why did you do that?" But
mm.
we all love that name, right? And probably Miyazaki-san probably feels a bit differently now about it. But you can easily see how that would spark the conflict
Of
between.
course, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
There's always going to exist that conflict between the pure art, the pure artist's creation and that process and their intentions, and then the necessary entities of promotion and marketing and business and the
yeah.
profitability and all that. And like you said, I think that of course there's great love and friendship between those two gentlemen with such a long time working together, but at the same time, those two worlds always have tension between them
That's right. That's
fundamentally,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing interpretation, and I don't know why it never occurred to me, but I mean I'm not animator, I'm not an animator,
Mm.
so I guess it wouldn't, but yeah, I mean I think that could definitely come across as his more personal uh, message
Mm.
in the film. That's fascinating.
Yeah. I'll send you the link for sure later. It's
Yeah, please, thank you.
one more is the Lion King. This is more like it.
Jeremy Irons.
This is I just
I haven't
right.
seen this in decades.
It's more straightforward meaning. I feel like just like a
Yeah.
cleansing.
Oh,
Right?
look at that little hug.
Yeah, yeah. Just the water. It's a
Yeah,
purification and also blessing too, right? Like life returning.
listen. It's also a baptism. You
Yeah,
know, reborn, new identity. And the sun's gonna come out.
nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Like the rain. Rain's always good. The rebirth. I mean, you had the imagery before of the fire, right? The fire of the villain and the
yeah,
anger and the hate of destruction, and that's put out by the cleansing waters. You know, that give new life. The waters nourish the earth. You know, feeding the plants and all the things that need plants. Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing how much you can communicate through visual
yeah,
moments.
yeah.
Yeah.
One more, and we'll
Do,
probably close
do
it down.
do two more, bro. I don't care.
Two
Do three
more.
more.
It's
Oh yeah, let's
I can
go.
I cannot ignore this as a
My
water.
favorite. Oh yes.
It's pretty sad. It's such a sad movie.
Terrifying. Terrible. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like black rain from the destruction.
yeah, yeah. It's the worst case scenario for in many levels, right? Like the water rain is supposed to give us a life, but even
Mm,
that water is polluted
mm,
to the level where it's black. And it's also, of course, it's based on the real thing, but like in terms of like a symbolic speaking, it's
mm.
like it's and you can't really avoid it. It's just like you know, just complete nature is against you, and it's also man-made. Like we did so much that now the nature is we've done so much damage and we become so capable enough to damage the nature and turn against us that there's no reverse to it. Kind of
Yeah.
thing. The
Yeah.
total checkmate, total self checkmate. Like,
Yeah. 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 We
yeah,
set ourselves up for destruction.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The idea of polluting the fundamental cycles of nature that in themselves exist in a way that they're self-renewing, but to pollute and to toxify these self-renewing processes of nature is it's very sinful, you know?
yeah,
It's like incredibly dark to do that kind of thing.
yeah,
And like I get that from there. I mean, and, you know, of course his rage and his anger and his guilt, his sense of
yeah,
guilt is coming through in that moment, and he's being washed by this toxic rain at the same
yeah,
time. It's just like you said, you can't get away from it. It's this
yeah,
ever-present surrounding problem, and then from there, I think that's when he starts to find his what am I going to do now? Like how am I
yeah.
gonna make this right? You know?
In this scene particularly, it just shows the insignificance of a person, right,
Yeah,
against this, and therefore that makes their challenges later to be more dramatic. But yeah, um, yeah, it's yeah. So in this case, the water, the source, yeah, the black rain, the what black rain really symbolized at that time was that really, I think, just a complete, complete hopelessness of the situation, right? Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I think that's the zenith of the destruction that he wreaks on the city in that film, right? That's like the pinnacle of it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? I mean,
for
that's and
sure.
it's supposed to be like in Ginza, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And he's like smashing the buildings, and he uses his atomic breath to vaporize those tanks that shoot at him, and and you get that wave from the
yeah,
atomic explosion, and of course his love interest is, as far as we can tell at that point, she's gone,
yeah,
she's done,
yeah, yeah,
she's been killed by this thing. And so he's losing everything. Like right as he's trying to rebuild his life, right? He's trying to find someone who he can relate to, who he loves, who he can protect, who understands him in a sense. Even though he's not articulating that love in the way he would like to, he feels like he's starting to build a life, the family and everything. And that is just swept from under his feet, taken away
mm,
from him in that moment. It's like no matter what I do, everything gets destroyed. And it's because I hesitated. It's because I was unable to fulfill my obligations,
mm.
my role. And so this like water, this black water is like it's like despair, you
That's
know,
fair, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
it's like despair.
Godzilla also came from underwater, like a deep water. So that there's something about it too, I guess. It's just like, there's something about that, like unknown, uncontrollable power that the water, 70% of this planet has, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. To me, when I'm watching it, this is not really about water anymore. To me, like, just kind of outside water topic, but when I'm watching this scene, it just feels like this is basically a story of everyone who gets bombed, right? And
Mhm.
in more specific context, like you can say this is what happened to people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But I think generally speaking, if someone drops bomb and then everything gets destroyed, that's kind of similar experience. It's just that just scale and understanding of it is different. And a lot of the time, this character has Godzilla to aim his anger towards. But in actual people's experience, it there's nobody there. It's just a big giant, mushroom crowd, and then that is it. It's not even you don't even have
Mm,
one in front of you. Of course, conceptually you understand someone dropped it, right? Like,
yeah,
or maybe you might even see the plane, but I
yeah.
think there's something more sinister about in the reality. There's nobody, just or and that's more sad. And in reality, also, there's no way you can really defeat Godzilla. In reality, you don't really have redemption. You just have to, like get yourself together and hope to survive another day. And that's why this fiction is fiction and touching to us. But I have that feeling also when I'm watching it, like, man, the reality is really must have been, yeah, no wonder people wrecked after the war, kind of. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why I've never thought of it that way. I guess I'm incapable of thinking of that way because I don't have that perspective or experience.
I've never been bombed neither,
But
but
like
the
but you have the
culture, like,
perspective from
as
the
a,
Japanese side, right?
yeah.
I mean, that's so profound, pointing that out that the people who experienced the bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they didn't have any, in the moment, they didn't have a physical target for their frustration,
Mm,
or an explanation, or even just like a context for
yeah,
what that was. Because it's not like now where, you have the news and live feeds and it's like, oh, the
yeah.
so and so is moving here and they're going to drop a bomb and oh, be careful, right? It's just like, and that technology was unknown.
Even now, I would say if you get bombed still, it's just like,
For
it's,
sure. But we have an awareness of atomic bombs,
sure, 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 sure.
right? We understand what they're capable of, what they have done,
Mm,
the danger. Back then, no one even knew that that existed, that something of such power could be created.
mm,
And all of a sudden, hundreds of thousands of just innocent people living their lives experienced the most unspeakable havoc within a split second in their normal lives. And then when it clears, there's no there's no remnant of the cause. There's no like, oh, it was from there. It's that thing over there. That's what did it. Oh, that makes okay. I see now. It's just like here, your city's gone and everything's destroyed, and yeah, it's just gone now, and there's no explanation why. And you find out at some point that it was the Americans dropping a bomb, and
Yeah.
it's like having Godzilla there as that proxy, as that thing to be like, that's the thing that did it. So his scream, his vocalization that moment is almost like it's like the collective scream of all the Japanese people who survived the bombing, or maybe even didn't survive the bombing, targeting the thing that did it,
Mm.
giving them a target for that moment, you
Yeah.
know. But even and you have to think in his perspective as well. In the context of that film, this is post-war, so they've already experienced the two bombs.
Mm.
Now they're experiencing this other thing that's the same level of power, right? And he would have heard about it. He wouldn't have experienced the two bombings, but he would have been aware of this destruction. Yeah, I guess that the question of what Godzilla represents
Mm.
culturally has been talked about for a very long time and many different explanations, but I never thought of it as giving the Japanese like a target for their frustration, for the historical events of the war
Mm.
and the end of the war. Um, that is also something that it could do, and I'm sure it does for some people, because it maybe Godzilla is the manifestation of the monster that is human evil and human,
Mm.
ingenuity for destruction and the sheer hatred and destructive nature of humanity in wartime, right? The potential that we have for hateful, murderous action is Godzilla, in a sense, which is, which for me, I know a lot of people like him and they have their fun, moments, but when you have the other like American films that like make Godzilla into like basically like an Avenger, it kind of takes away the point of what Godzilla is originally for me, and I know it's fun and all that, but and you could maybe argue that it has some sort of redemptive quality to it, but yeah, I just think it's Godzilla minus one is just top of the top. All right, he's from the ocean, right? We were talking about that too. That's what you were saying. So he's from the ocean, and you're saying the ocean's this big, vast, unknown thing, right?
70%. Yeah.
70%. It's interesting how like it seems that we know more about like the moon than we do about the depth of the oceans, the nature of the ocean. I
Man,
know that's kind of
I
a thing that's thrown around a lot, that
I've
statement,
heard it.
but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't know how true it is, but I also don't know a lot about the oceans, so um,
Yeah.
that stands true for me. Um, but yeah, I mean, who knows what's down there? They're so deep. There's so much. We don't really understand the limits of the possibilities of life, right?
Yeah, again, like at that time, when especially when you were in the war, firstly, the idea of a nation is such an abstract thing. It's certainly there. The nation exists, but it's also abstract. The enemy, United States, is also like you don't really see the nation, right? But until you see the you don't until you see the airplanes or those stuff. But even still, it's but at the same time, suddenly you have this like unimaginable, unprecedented scale of damage which is nothing but reality, right? And
Mhm.
then you experience that. It's just whether them being Japanese or not. It's just really about like how, like in terms of like a human level, it's yeah, like having it's just so big that you don't have that enemy to be mad at apart from the damage itself.
Hmm.
Versus having Godzilla is actually it feels much more at least there's something that maybe we can manage that, like so
Hmm.
that's what separates me for me between fiction and real history slash reality that's going on in the
Hmm.
world. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's a bit abstract also.
100%. 100%. You know, my thoughts drift in a very controversial direction. Um, the Japanese people. Thank you, everyone, for your patronage. Enjoying this delightful conversation. With
Thank you very
Giacomo and
much.
myself.
Yep.
Ep.7 of the WaterPearl podcast.
We'll talk more about water and WaterPearl and the movie and anime scenes that or TV shows that picked by Giacomo in next episode.
Maybe even video games. We'll see what
Maybe
happens.
video games here. All right. I think he has already some ideas. That's good. All right. Thank you guys. Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much.